All right, welcome to your deep dive. We're diving into some pretty interesting sources today, all about building different ways to make money online. I guess you could say it's kind of like a really strong argument for online business folks to like branch out. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
put all their eggs in one basket or whatever.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that the speaker presents this information kind of in a unique way. It's almost like a stream of consciousness, kind of raw and unfiltered, but I think they just adds to the message.
For sure. It feels like you're really getting inside their head, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
And they start off by painting a pretty clear picture of a big problem, the oversaturation of the freelance market, especially for virtual assistants.
yeah, they even make this really interesting comparison to the whole tech boom and bust back in 2020. It's like they're saying that putting all your hopes on just one skill or one income source can be really risky, especially in the online world, you know? Things change so fast.
Totally.
hmm
So the problem is pretty clear. Relying only on freelancing, especially in a crowded market, is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But what's the solution? Well, the speaker lays out this three-bucket approach, and I gotta say, I'm intrigued.
Me too. It's a really cool framework. The basic idea is you diversify your income by offering three different types of services: done for you, done with you, and digital products. Let's use their example of social media management to see how it works.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. So bucket one, done for you. That's basically your typical social media management service. You're managing clients' accounts directly. But here's the kicker. They actually recommend setting a premium price point, like $1,000 to $2,000 per month.
Wow, that's pretty bold.
I
It
bet.
definitely shows you believe in the value you bring. But then it gets even more strategic with bucket two, done with you. This is where you switch from actually doing the work for clients to coaching or mentoring other people who want to learn those same skills.
So instead of just managing social media, you're teaching others how to do it. The speaker even suggests a price point here, like $600 for a 3-month coaching program, which you could then scale up to multiple students.
Right, and that's where the leverage comes in. You're not just trading your time for money anymore. And then in bucket three, that's where you take it even further by packaging your knowledge into digital products like course recordings, templates, guides, that kind of thing.
It's like creating a digital product called How to Land High-Paying Social Media Clients. You're basically using your experience from both managing accounts and coaching to create something people can buy and you can sell over and over again.
Exactly. It's a really smart way to diversify and reach more people. You're not just relying on one-on-one work. You've got multiple ways for people to learn from you.
And here's where the speaker's call to action comes in. They challenge everyone listening to document their journey online for 100 days. They believe that putting yourself out there and sharing what you're doing is the key to attracting clients and building an audience.
It's like a modern-day apprenticeship, but online. You're letting people see you grow and learn and become an expert. It shows them what you can do.
I like that. But here's a question I have.
Mhm.
While I totally get the whole documenting your journey thing, isn't there a risk of sharing too much? Like, could you end up with copycats or even devalue your expertise?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely a bold approach, and it might not be right for everyone. The key, I think, is to be strategic about what you share. Instead of giving away all your secrets, focus on sharing your insights, your unique process, and the value you offer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Share enough to show people you know what you're doing, but don't give away the whole playbook.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's where their idea of attention is the new currency comes in. You're using your visibility in a smart way to get the right clients and opportunities.
I love that. It's like the gold rush.
Yeah.
Everyone's digging for gold, but the people who really make bank are the ones selling the shovels and the jeans. In the online world, your attention is valuable, but are you using it to mine for gold or to create the tools everyone else needs?
That's a great way to put it. And I think that leads us perfectly into the next part of our deep dive. The speaker goes on to share their own experience with this three-bucket model. And it gets really specific. So we left off talking about the speaker's own journey with that three-bucket thing. And honestly, their story's pretty inspiring. They've actually used it in their own business, like with content creation and coaching, and they break it down so it actually makes sense, you know?
Yeah, and what I really liked is that they're not afraid to talk about the hard work. Like they're really clear that building a business takes a lot of effort and dedication. It's not like some overnight success story or anything.
Exactly. They even use this funny phrase they talk about, like milking this thing when talking about their business. It sounds kind of rough, maybe, but it really shows their whole attitude. They're not afraid to be bold or think outside the box, and they want other people to do the same.
It's like they're saying, don't be afraid to use your skills and knowledge to their fullest. And they really show this with their video editing example. They say, even if that's the only skill you have, you can still build a whole business around it using the three-bucket model.
That's a really good message for anyone who thinks they're limited by what they know how to do. So let's say you're a video editor. The speaker suggests you start with those done-for-you services. Target creators who are willing to pay good money, like $300 or $500 a month for high-quality editing.
Right, and then once you've made a name for yourself, you can move to the done with you bucket. Now you're using your experience to coach other video editors, teach them your tricks and how to find clients.
It's like creating a whole community of video editors who are learning from you. And then you add in the digital products, maybe a course on video editing or some templates they can use.
It's amazing how flexible this model is. It can work for almost any skill. But you mentioned earlier that the speaker is pretty open about how much work is involved.
Yeah.
So how do they talk about the challenges and setbacks that people might face?
That's a great question. And they definitely don't try to sugarcoat it. They're upfront about the fact that building a business is tough. And there are going to be times when you feel discouraged.
So it's not just all about positive thinking and you can do it. They get real about what it's like to be an entrepreneur.
Totally. They even talk about those moments when you're ready to just give up,
Yeah.
when you question everything. But they also give you ways to get past those hurdles.
Like what kind of strategies? Do they focus on mindset or practical tools or both?
A bit of both, actually. They really stress how important your mindset is, like believing in yourself and your vision. But they also give solid advice on things like managing your time, marketing, staying organized, practical stuff.
So it's a well-rounded approach. They address both the internal and external stuff.
That's cool because sometimes people just focus on the hustle without talking about the mental and emotional side.
You're right. And I think that's where their emphasis on community comes in. They talk about how important it is to have people around you who get it, who understand what it's like to build a business.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's easy to feel isolated when you're starting a business. So having a community can make a huge difference.
For sure. And speaking of community, the speaker is really good at connecting with their audience. They talk directly to the listener throughout their message. It's like they're having a one-on-one conversation.
I noticed that too. It makes it feel more personal, like they really understand where you're coming from. But it also makes me wonder, do they ever address the people who aren't convinced? The ones who might be skeptical about this whole online business thing?
Oh, yeah, totally. They acknowledge that some people might watch their stuff and feel inspired, but then not actually do anything.
So they actually call people out on that. They don't pretend everyone's on board.
Nope. They even make jokes about people saving the video and then never watching it again. It's kind of funny because it's so true. A lot of creators deal with that.
It's refreshing that they're not afraid to be real about that. But I'm guessing they don't just leave it there. They probably encourage people to take action.
Yeah. Absolutely. They keep coming back to the idea that taking action is what matters. All the knowledge and inspiration in the world won't get you anywhere unless you actually use it.
And I bet they tie this back to that document for 100 days challenge. It's such a concrete action step anyone can do, no matter what their skill level is or their business idea.
You got it. And they make it clear that this challenge isn't just about finding clients. It's about proving to yourself that you can do it, that you can stick with something. It's about building momentum and creating work that you're proud of.
I like that. It's not just about the business. It's about building confidence in yourself.
And that brings us to the next part of our deep dive. We've covered the practical stuff about the three-bucket model, the importance of mindset and community and taking action. But what about the emotional side of this message? How does the speaker's style and the way they deliver it all contribute to the experience?
You know, we've been through a lot in this deep dive. All those different ways to make money online and the right mindset to do it. But what really gets me is the pure energy of it all.
Right. It's like you can't help but feel it. This speaker isn't just giving you information. They're like giving you a pep talk. It's like they're your personal cheerleader and business coach all in one.
And I think it works because they're not afraid to be blunt. Like, remember when they basically called people lazy? I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that was definitely a moment. I think that kind of straight talk can be a good thing or a bad thing for some people. Some people might not like it, but others might find it super motivating. It's like tough love for entrepreneurs.
It definitely makes you listen. It's not like your typical polished business advice. It's real and unfiltered, which is kind of cool.
It feels genuine, right? Like you're seeing the real person behind the advice. And I think that's what makes it hit home.
Yeah, it feels more relatable. They're not trying to be some guru who has it all figured out. They're just someone who's found something that works and wants to share it.
And you can tell they're excited about it. It makes you believe that you can do it too if you're willing to put in the effort.
But they're also honest about the fact that it's going to be hard. They talk about the struggles, the doubts,
Yeah.
those times when you just want to quit.
And that's important, I think. It makes them more believable. They're not promising you'll get rich quick. They're being real about what it takes.
Exactly. It makes their advice seem more trustworthy. They're not selling some fantasy, they're giving you a plan. And they're honest about the tough parts.
I think that honesty combined with how passionate they are about it makes it a really powerful experience for the listener. It makes you feel inspired and motivated, maybe even like you can change your whole life.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious what really stood out for you. Was it the three-bucket model, the speaker's energy, or maybe just the reminder that building a business is a journey with ups and downs?
Whatever it was. I think the big takeaway is that you have the power to create something awesome. You've got the skills, the knowledge, and the drive. Sometimes all it takes is a little inspiration, some tough love, and a whole lot of action.
This deep dive was all about giving you those insights to get you moving on your own path. We hope it sparked some new ideas, maybe lit a fire under you. And hey, maybe it even gave you the guts to take that next step. Thanks for joining us.